The law. The law in Belper. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Charlie Veitch channel. We are in Belper, continuing our tour of Derbyshire. This is a large town, probably the largest town in the Amber Valley that we're in, and we're looking at East Mill. And we're going to go up to North Mill, built in 1804, the absolute precursor to the modern skyscraper, perfected by the Americans. And the reason why, we'll get there, is that they perfected the steel framing instead of timber, which is essential if you're going to build big and build high and build amazing. And another benefit of it, it burns down a lot less. So funnily enough, the Belperians, the Derbyshirians, the Derby-tastic people-arians were leading the world in the Industrial Revolution with fireproof steel-framed mills to do whatever they were doing. Here's North Mill. Here we go. We're going to go in and have a look, but let's have a look around the outside first. Belper Mills. Just look at it. And it's on the River Derwent, which is what you need. You need a bit of running water to spin things in the days before steam. Of course they had steam, but water was a bit easier. You use a bit of gravity to move your things. Oh, it's mighty pretty today. It's about 5 degrees Celsius. It's sunny. We're in an area of high pressure coming from the Arctic. And look at this. Look at that. The pre-Victorians in the early 1800s, early 19th century, they knew how to build a nice bit of industry. And just look at it. It looks so peaceful and so nice. Just imagine hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands of mill workers, factory workers, going about their day, creating the modern world and doing the requisite work to make Britain an incredible colonial power that then took over a quarter of the planet. So just coming up alongside some of this machinery and machination, and you can see from the recent storm Claudia, a lot of detritus has built up along here and on the other side as well. But I was captivated by a sign. Look at that view, look at that. A sign saying Belper's world-renowned river gardens. And I think I see a bit of evidence of it. Oh, feel the world-renowned, just feel it. And if you like old cogs, old machines, if you like a bit of a derelict mill, you'll like Belper. And we're just going to have a look. Just look at it. Just look at it. Just look at all this. Look at all this equipment. That's to shut the river down, control the flow. You got to control the flow of water, and I need to control the flow of not dropping my phone. And for many of you asking, it's a Samsung S25 Ultra. We're filming in 4K at 60 frames per second. Beware strong currents. Yeah. It's that variable water pressure that will suck you into a pipe or out of a pipe. It'll mess you up. Hi, mate. All good? What, are you filling up a bit of oil?
Yeah, these gates are hydraulically operated.
Oh, they still work?
Yeah, these two here, the end one is in.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, just doing a schedule on them.
Very good, nice one. Cheers. Look at that, the hydraulics, you wouldn't think of it. Look at this. The Victorians and the pre-Victorians, they knew how to build stuff to last, unlike us modern crazies. Now, I don't know about you, but on this little structure here, that's upsetting me. It's clearly not doing well, and you know, you think it's just another brick wall. Behind the brick wall is just more brick wall. And I did see 2 police community support officers, PCSO, also affectionately known as piglets, no offense if you get the reference. And here's their mobile office. Don't know what crime there is here in Belper, probably the usual mix of crackheadery, shoplifting, etc, etc. Look at that. I love it. Welcome to Jurassic Park. No, welcome to Belper River Gardens. You've got a nice 1940s shed here, I'm guessing. Belper River Gardens. Oh, it's pretty. In the sun, it's very nice. And there's still a good bit of frost on the rooftops. Still a good bit of chill in the air. But you just got to come appropriately dressed. You got to just come ready for every British scenario. Although you will notice that you're not going to find me YouTubing very often in the rain. It's a very unpleasant experience here in Britain. Don't know why, as we said in the last video. The weather just feels different. It might be the same temperature, but with the wind chill and the moisture, it just F's you up. And, oh! I just saw a seagull. Sorry, a gull. We're not near the sea. A gull, another gull, just took a shit on the frozen lake. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. The Victorians did have a fetish for nice exotic pine trees from around the world. So let's have a look at the frozen bit. Now, if you're wanting a city centre drama video, just keep watching. A beautiful thing about my channel is you never know what's going to happen, and sometimes in the quietest towns you get the craziest stuff going on. Now, yeah, that's no good for little duckies to paddle through with their webbed feet. Oh, most pretty. And of course there's a nice cafe here. Might grab a coffee with all the cyclists here next to the River Derwent. It's a cute name, Derwent. Derp, Derp, Durka Durka, Durka Durka. That's worth a zoom in. It is indeed. Look at that. If I lived along the river, I would also have a nice shed to get away from it all. Look at that. If you're feeling stinky, that way, to the left. There's the side of North Mill. And you look over here, you got a bit of signage, and then you've got some anti-government signage that some people have tried to scrape off. My consent to be governed by corrupt, compromised, belligerent, criminal parliament or government, I will not comply. And someone's really got angry at the comply bit. Corner. And if you follow it down, it's quite full. It disappears underground over there. There she blows, and there she re-emerges. Quite full. And it comes across, and it goes back under the mill. Look at that. It was cheaper to just put it on stilts than it was to reroute the river, obviously. Here it comes out again, the other side. Built in 1804, ladies and gentlemen. So if I was born at the Declaration of Independence in the United States, I'd be about the age I am now when they built this mill. 1804, when the Wild West was still wild. And it comes through these wooden gates again. Don't know why I'm doing this accent. It comes through these gates, and the water gets a bit swirly on the other side. That's a technical term, swirly. The water gets very swirly. We're going to leave the mill and go into the town centre. Well, that bit's not 1804, that bit's 1912, the same year my Scottish paternal grandfather was born. And yeah, it's also the year that the great investor called Nordic Iceberg put a short position on the ship Titanic. Made a lot of money. A6 north of Cromford Junction closed for urgent tree works. Yeah, according to the Derbyshire Council website, during Storm Claudia, 2 trees fell onto the road badly, and then they went to inspect. It turns out there's 100 trees on a private bit of land on an embankment that was at risk of creating a massive landslide. So for the last 5 days, they've chopped down 100 trees, saving the road, but making the environmentalists cry. But those trees had it coming. They were in the way of progress. Long row, it says. Cobbled streets, and it doesn't disappoint, it's a long row. Oh my, this backyard here is so English, it shat out a cup of tea in a red phone box. Love the faded glory of these old residences. Look at that, you can kind of see inside. Wow, it's like a museum piece. Hope no one's in there, because that's a bit nosy. But wow, look at this. Here's an old phone box. George Regis, George King. And yeah, we're coming to the George and Dragon. The George and Dragon pub. Look at that. Look at this one. This one's so English, it shat out the king. James Beresford and Sons, monumental masons and memorial specialists, the true recession-busting, cost-of-living crisis busting business. In fact, during times of economic strife, your business might even do better. Crown Terrace, eh? So English it forced the Chinese to buy Indian opium. Look at that. Looks like a cartoon. Interesting. Okay, we've come through from the train station. And of course there's a pub called The Railway there. So we're halfway up the high street, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't want to film the Poundland on my... Oh, Charlie, you've just done it. Oh, no. Depressing concept of a store. Depressing. And I saw a nice little sign saying, "People of Derby, come visit Belper. It's only a few minutes away on the train. We've got an independent cinema, good nightlife, safe town." It said your chances of being stabbed are a lot lower than the high street in Derby, which has had a few high-profile stabbings recently. National news, maybe even international. So yeah, I can vouch for Belper, having been here a short while. I've not been stabbed yet, which is fantastic news. The Lloyd's Bank's not doing too well, and Cafe G, my G. What's going on here? LG TV 4K. I'm much more of a Samsung man, although Lucky Gold Star does make a good 4K plus TV. Santa Claus in disguise, seeing who's been a good boy and who... Oh, thanks, madam, you're right. Hi. You gotta love the elderly viewers. You know that they watch on YouTube the proper way, not on those bastard other little social medias where it's all stolen clips. Anyone for a job? A job center plus? No one? Anyone? Nice architecture? That's quite nice. Lighthouse vibes. I want to show my international audience a nice British independent butchers. G.O. Cooper Limited. Look at him and her, selling their wares. Not just pork and beef. That doesn't look like pork to me. You got some liver? Anyone? Very nice. Hello, men in vans saying hello, van men. Now, the defibrillator to give your heart a few extra beats via electronic shock got me remembering that in the news we've just had the results of the COVID public inquiry, the British COVID response. And as we all already knew, it was an absolute shit show, a shambles. There was no need for lockdown. It was too little, too late. We should have been like Sweden. We could have avoided a lot of bullshit. A lot of authoritarian little Hitlers and Stalins suddenly forcing everyone and snitching on their neighbors and getting mad if you're not wearing a face nappy. And don't even get me started about the vaccine. Don't even get me started about that gene-altering therapy that they said that you had to take or you would never travel internationally again. And me, myself and I, and millions of others, fully prepared to only vacation in Britain until the end of time. But of course, it was all lies. It was all bullshit. No one demands a COVID passport, ever. They just really wanted you to take it. They really needed you to take it. And here's a tale of two architectures. Piece of shit and classical nice. Now, feast your eyes upon this for a moment. Royal Britannia and all that good stuff. Christmas trees, almost a Manhattan-esque block there. And then, vomit with me as you see the big plastic facade on this premier little cheap shop. There should be a law, ladies and gentlemen. No, there should be a law that nasty cheap shops aren't allowed to have big plastic frontage on classical buildings. I'm sure you'll agree with me. It ruins the tone. Look at those garish colours. Look at that low rent, yokely, proper riff-raff colouring and frontage. There's no need. But this tree wishes you a Merry Christmas. It's not a winter tree. It's not a festive tree. It's not a happy holidays tree. It's a Christmas tree. Because, well, Britain is a, hopefully, maybe, still a Christian country. I think. It should be. Anyway. Anyone for toiletries and body care? Anyone? Here on the corner you can see evidence of a former drinking establishment. I can see beer and tobacco, it says. Look at that. Arthur something. And at the top of the hill, Market Buildings, 1902. So, time for a rant. I've been reading and listening to a lot of second-hand, trustworthy accounts about the philosophies of Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher from the 1800s. Now, the reason I've been going for second-hand sources instead of just reading him directly is that I tried it during my philosophy degree. Beyond Good and Evil, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. And I'll say it now, Friedrich Nietzsche, he doesn't write very well. He doesn't really get his point across quickly and succinctly, except in his little proverb book. He manages there, but many of you think that Nietzsche's philosophies led to the Nazis, but it was actually his sister. I think she was called Elizabeth or Helen. She misconstrued his philosophies and she became a Nazi, a fascist, whereas Friedrich's Übermensch, his Superman, hated weak, totalitarian, pathetic, power-hungry scum like communists or fascists, Nazi incels, Stalinist little power-hungry little betas. No, his man was much purer, much more independent than that. So it goes to show people will use philosophies for their own gain, for their own bullshit. But what my takeaway from it is that if you're worried that your religion, your cult, your little group, your tribe is filling you with slave morality, slave weak, docile morality that is very useful to the powers that be, read a bit of Nietzsche. Read The Becoming of the Übermensch. And it's a very useful way to analyze your own thoughts or religion or your own morality, to say, is this from me, or am I merely regurgitating the cope of the slave class, of the weak class, of the powerless class, as a kind of psychological opiate to not fall into too much despair. So for that we say thank you, Friedrich Nietzsche, for your absolute refusal to bow down to slave morality, slave ideology, weak boy, little beta boy ideologies, of which communism and fascism certainly are. And to keep it clean, we're not going to mention the religions just yet. Just yet, no. Now, many of you may get angry at me for saying this, but I think the modern obsession with mental health is a coping mechanism so that you don't have to face the void and your own existence. It's a crutch. It's a crutchy It's a thing to help you hobble along, but Nietzsche would say, not allowed. Well, 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 I thought this was a bank. It's actually a chiropractor. I stand corrected. And alas, funnily enough, Belper won the best British high street in 2014 and 2015. I don't know what's happened in the last 10 years, or to my focus. There you go. Just bang it on the side like an old TV in the 80s. That fixes it. Ada Belfield Centre and Belper Library. Not Belcher, Belper. The town name Belper is actually a English bastardization of the French. I think the Normans liked it here. Beaurepaire. Beaurepaire means a beautiful retreat. And it's alright, but you couldn't expect the locals to pronounce Beaurepaire, so it became Belper. And just to drive a few comments, because it's good for the algorithm, good for the shekels. I don't believe in the chemtrail conspiracy. These are merely contrails of steam coming out the back of an airplane's anus from its engines. But no, this is a shot I was looking for. This one here, look at that. There you go. Don't just take my word for it. It was Bradley in oldie English, but then the Normand from Normandy, the Frenchies, Beaurepaire, beautiful retreat. Yep, that's the Belper bus depot, home of the Sixes bus company. And you'd look at it and you go, yep, that's a bus depot. She likes purple. She's a purple granny. Yep, it's a bus depot. It really, really is a bus depot. Did you know this is a bus depot? Or as the Normans would say 900 years ago, le omnibus depot. Le omnibus depot. And just down from the bus depot, did I say it was a bus depot? I think I did. It's De Bradley arcade thing. And what took my fancy, what caught my eye, was the big Mr. Potato Head. It's lovely in here. It really is. It's fantastic. This is proper England. Hard to get a big shot, but he's actually... get your hand... Ow! What? And no matter how small the town, there's always an Edinburgh woolen mill. The grannies love it. A bit of wool from Edinburgh. The grannies are like, that is like crack. That is the crack rock for the over 65s. Something to do with Lego. And of course, some really, really shitty corporate roundabout art. The whole world suffers from this shit. Look at it. A big abandoned warehouse stroke commercial building stroke mill. Look at the erosion on the sandstone down there. Look at that. It's quite pretty. But the building's not doing too well. It's proper abando. Look at this little row. It's so English it banned slavery in 1812. Now we're at the Struts building. Now this one's from 1908, showing that even in the 20th century at the beginning, we were still capable of some beautiful, beautiful structures. Now I'm getting the Struts mill, the Struts building. I'd say the Struts were a big industrial family here back in the day. Very successful, and if you go over here, look at that entrance there. Let the lorry go past. That's the pedestrian entrance to Babington Hospital. And here, just outside Struts, Strutty. It's a very nice ivy. You like a bit of variegated ivy? I think it's ivy. And here we are at the Babington Hospital pedestrian entrance. And what an entrance. They don't build it like they used to, do they? They don't do it like they used to. And what a lovely building. Probably built with money by the Struts family, I'd guess. Look at that. From where we came from, and if you've made it this far, it goes to show the people yearn for a more peaceful video. The people yearn for some normality, and the lack of drive to find drama and craziness. We're all saturated with YouTube madness and anger and fighting and decay and crackheads and inner city nonsense. If you've made it this far in the video, well done. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed this tour. The people crave something a bit more, as I say, normal, old-fashioned, British. So it's goodbye from me, it's hello to you, and I'll see you as always on the next video. This is your host, as always, Charlie Veitch.